Okay, so the other question. Okay, so there is opportunities in every crisis.
Yes, for sure.
So okay, yeah, buying stocks right now, that's opportunity. Okay, we've established that. But another thing that could be a potential opportunity is that when Caleb had said last week, but a lot of people are saying this now as far as interest rates. We gotta see what Jerome Powell's going to do, but they said in May. So if they do drop interest rates, which a lot of people think that may happen, I've already contacted Matt. I actually own something I'm going to do a cash out refi on, and I contacted Matt, and I'm waiting to see if this happens because refinances will go up
Talk
tremendously.
about it.
Because you got to understand, like your house, this is what he always says, right? The equity in your house is pretty much monopoly money. It's not guaranteed to be there. If we have a housing crash, that equity is going to go down. So it makes sense to tap into it if you could use the money or do something smart with it, or. So I think we're going to see a lot of people refinancing. If interest rates are lower, for sure, that would be helpful for people that have equity inside their homes, and then of course people buying new homes as well. So what's the chances of interest rates being lower?
Sure, I think we both in the same boat. We have no clue. We have any guidance they ever have given in the last few years has been off. There's a lot of debt that we need to refinance, so I don't know if they'll drop the interest rates. It's really tricky because Powell is in a tough position where if we drop the rates, everyone's going to buy everything up and prices are going to increase exorbitantly. But isn't the new average APR for home now 6.75%?
Yeah, it got down to 6.5 at one point last week, which is the lowest it's been in about 2 years.
Yeah.
It's
coming down.
It's coming. I mean, yeah. At one point last year was at 7.5. So
yeah,
when you talk about a full percent, I'm with you. I mean, if you have equity in your home, it might be a nice opportunity as you start to see the economy moving back and forth, and there might be a 2-week or 3-week span where you see them drop down to 6. I mean, it's better to be prepared, so you can take advantage of that.
Yeah, but as far as rates, I have no clue.
Mike's at 5.9 on Thursday. Yeah, so I mean, it was there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
But
if that does happen, then that's going to be helpful for people that are looking to refinance their homes.
Yeah, and then the Fed rate, I know that was something he said May 7th, and I said everybody circle your calendar May 7th. We'll see what Powell says. It went from the chances of having maybe 2 rate cuts this year to now I think an 80% chance that there'll be a 3rd rate cut to kind of offset some of these tariffs, because
I don't believe that.
Yeah, inflation was coming down, unemployment was at coming down, and then you have this.
You gotta diversify your citizenship also. That's important.
Been telling y'all forever. Hope y'all listen.
Diversify your citizenship. Like, we're really serious about this Ghana thing. And I was talking to Keys yesterday. I was just like, yo, I mean, you gotta give the country credit. They're the only country that I know of that's ever actually had a plan to actually recruit Black Americans. That alone is something that's pretty impressive.
Yep.
And it's like really easy to move around and safe. It's opportunities. Like, this Ghana thing is, we're serious about Ghana. Like, we're all in on Ghana for a reason. By the way, like for a reason. For a reason. It's not
hedge.
It's not just for the jollof rice, by the way.
Which is amazing, but
for sure. But it's a little bit more than that.
We'll be home soon.
Yeah. I was with Francois Friday, and somebody she knew who worked in government got their visa blocked from playing 2 months in advance. I'm telling you, like, now is not the time to be like, I'm going to hunker down in America. If you have the opportunity and the money to invest outside of the country, even walk around here, oh my, it's so peaceful. You wouldn't think a tariff was even happening around here. Yeah. You have to invest in another country, yo. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you have to.
Because the opportunities, it's once again, it's the risk reward ratio. Like, you gotta realize, like, we're at the tail end of this American dynasty. I mean, that's just a fact, right? I don't want to be an alarmist, but I mean, everybody says that we're at the tail end of it. Are we going to be like, a third world country? No, we'll still be, it still be a sustainable environment. But your opportunity is getting more difficult. Let's just say that. And you go to some of these countries, and it's just the opportunities are abundant, and they're at the beginning stages.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're not at the beginning stages. Like we're there at the beginning. Like I feel like in Ghana, they're still at the beginning stages. Like you could still actually go out there and make a bunch of money and opportunities and meet people and end up in the government's office within a week if you play your cards right. So
Yeah.
that's my plan.
And the demographic of people that are moving and shaking are like middle aged, right?
Mhm.
There's a middle aged conglomerate of people that are actually making moves and making decisions for the country in totality. And a lot of people in business are middle aged. So that's encouraging, right? Because that means that they have a different mindset, they have a different perspective, right? And they've had the tutelage of their elders, and now they can see what technology and what infrastructure and what business structure can do. And they're bringing that. A lot of them came to America for education or went to the UK for education and went right back home, and they brought that education
sure.
with them, which is important. And now they're going to take advantage of that. And so it's important to be a part of it.
And I will say this too about some geopolitical opinions. This is just my opinion, but this last 100 years has been it's been the rule of democracy. Democracy has pretty much ran things, right? Well, I think now going forward for the next 100 years, it's going to be communism, socialism, and kingdoms that's going to run it, because China is a communist country. And then if you look at Saudi Arabia, that's a kingdom. If you look at UAE, that's a kingdom. So everything has ebbs and flows.
Cycles. Yep.
This next 100 years is going to be that, because having a king is not a bad thing as long as you have a good king. There's some people that need to be like, one of the biggest problems with Africa is democracy, because they have a false sense of democracy that's propped up by Western governments, and they have corrupt leaders. And then every 4 years they reset. Like Ibrahim Traore, he needs to appoint himself president for at least 20 years. He needs a 20-year run, right? Because it's like he's doing all this stuff in Burkina Faso, and then it's like, okay, what good is it if 2 years he gets replaced, and then they're gonna have another corrupt leader, and it's gonna go back? Like, you have when you have somebody good, you got to stay with that one person. He should be president or the leader for at least 20 years, my opinion.
What was the peak year? My bad.
He should actually probably be the leader of the whole entire continent. That's what me and Keith was saying. Like, they should appoint him leader of Africa. Like, he's the one. He's the chosen one.
What was the peak year for the United States of America? I want to ask you guys and everybody in chat, like, in your opinion, what was the top four? If Buffett was like trading America, what would be the year he would have exited?
The year he would have exited?
That's a good one.
I think, can I just give you a decade?
I'm good with that.
I'm going to go the 90s.
What,
Rashad?
from a cultural standpoint or from a business standpoint?
Combination.
Investing standpoint. Yeah, at the early stages of a lot of these tech companies, we saw obviously during the Clinton administration, stock market went crazy. And at the end of the decade, the very tail end, we had that crash. Well, that kind of went like 99, 2000. So I would say 90, kind of like hip hop, like 92 to 98.
I'm going to go year 2000. Right before 9/11.
Same.
Yeah, 2000. That's when you could go to the airport on some just running the air. Now you got to take your shoes off.
Yeah, for real.
Change your personal.
No. My personal favorite is the year 1996.
That was a great
1995
year.
and 1996. That's my personal favorite. That's the best year for me ever as far as culture. But if I'm looking at it objectively, if I was to sell high, year 2000. When the ball dropped, you should have listened. Remember?
For sure.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying 90,
that's when it was really over. At
that's
that
why I'm
point.
saying 92 to 98, because you riding that all the way up to 98, and all right, 99, I'm good. By the time 2000 comes, like I'm just sitting on the cash.
Yeah. Down.
What if the real Y2K was the destruction of America from that point going forward? Everybody was worried about the computers crashing and your compacts going under.
Yo, I just had a conversation about that. We remember they were like, yo, the computer systems don't go past 1999. What's going to happen to the banking system?
Yeah.
Bitcoin. Peekaboo.
12 years later.
Bitcoin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, 2000.
My kids just asked me about that. They're like, Dad, what was the 2000 like? You graduated in 2000?
Lit.
I'm like, it was a good time.
Ooh, boy.
It's a good time. We thought the world.
Culturally, yeah, 95, 96. Ooh,
but here's another thing too, because I mean, I don't know. You're saying we sparking too much fear. What you want me to tell you a lie? I was telling you the truth. Like the we have luxuries that we're afforded as America because we're the number one country. When we're not the number one country, we're not going to have those luxuries anymore. Like I
Look,
travel
This
the
is
world.
not. Look, this is the headline, right? China says it will fight to the end. Fight to the end after Trump threatens 50% higher tariffs. They said the U.S. threat to escalate tariffs on China is a mistake on top of a mistake. China will never accept it. If the U.S. insists on its own way, China will fight to the end.
Yeah, well, we'll see.